चलते रहे हम उम्र भर परमात्मा की राह पर। चलते रहे हम उम्र भर, प्रभु साथ चलना हर कदम आए हैं हम तेरी शरण। प्रभु साथ चलना हर कदम आए हैं हम तेरी शरण, तेरी शरण। परमात्मा की राह पर चलते रहे हम उम्र भर। जाना हमें उस स्थान पर जहाँ सिर्फ आत्म का हो घर। जाना हमें उस स्थान पर जहाँ सिर्फ आत्म का हो घर। ना कोई भी देह हो, ना कोई देह का भोग हो। हम साधना इतनी करें, मिल जाए मुक्ति का ये पथ। हम साधना इतनी करें, मिल जाए मुक्ति का ये पथ। परमात्मा की राह पर चलते रहे हम उम्र भर। मेरी एक कामना है प्रभु, निष्पाप जीवन मैं जीऊं। मेरी एक कामना है प्रभु, निष्पाप जीवन मैं जीऊं। मेरे साथ हो तेरे उपकरण, मेरे हाथ में हो रजोहरण। गुरु आपके जैसा बनूं, शासन प्रभाव न मैं करूं। गुरु आपके जैसा बनूं, शासन प्रभाव न मैं करूं। परमात्मा की राह पर चलते रहे हम उम्र भर।
Om Shanti. Good morning, everyone. So before we start with today's Murli, today we are reading Avyakt Murli, which is originally dated as 24th Jan 1970. So before we start with the Murli, I would like to know from you all which quality or what virtue comes to your mind when you see this image. You all may unmute and share, or you may share through the chat as well. Which quality comes to your mind when you see this image?
Love for God.
Love for God. Yeah,
Being one with God.
yeah, being one with God. Yeah,
Turn
Sakshigan.
to
Surrender, Samarpanta. Yeah.
yeah.
So you all can guess what is today's Murli all about. Baba has taken up the topic of surrender. So the Murli is very small, but the message in the Murli is very deep and very powerful. Baba is telling us what is the definition of surrender. What does it mean to surrender the self? And then Baba also explains us how we can be the instruments to inspire others to surrender. And what is the main business of Brahmins? This is all in today's Murli. The Also, one more thing, Baba has given many formulas in today's Murli. Formulas meaning Baba usually tells us the method and the attainment when we follow that method, right? In Hindi, it is Vidhi or Siddhi. So Baba says, no, Vidhi se Siddhi. So there are many such points in today's Murli where Baba is giving us the method and then what attainment you have through that. Or if we want to have this particular attainment, Baba says you follow this method. So also those who take notes, we can make a note of this method and attainment. Let's listen to Baba's Murli. The essence is the main business of Brahmins is to surrender the self and inspire others to surrender. To whom have you handed over the boat of your life? So someone answered, Shiv Baba. Are you following Srimad completely? To follow Srimad means to put spirituality into every action. So, to surrender means to follow Srimad completely. And to follow Srimad completely means to put spirituality into every action. Do you consider yourselves to have a full right to the inheritance from Shiv Baba? Those who claim the right to the inheritance have a right over everything. They are not dependent on anything. If they are dependent on their body or bodily relations or on anything belonging to the body, then by being dependent in such a way, it means they cannot be ones with a right. So Baba says if you have a right to everything, if you have a right to the inheritance, then there can be no dependency. Those who have a right are not dependent. By constantly considering yourself to be one with a right, you will be saved from becoming dependent on any form of Maya. So, this is one awareness that Baba is asking us to have, that we are the ones who have full right to Baba's inheritance. And when we have this awareness of having this right, then Baba says you will be free from any form of Maya. Always check how many spiritual actions you have performed and how many worldly actions you have performed. Lokik actions and alokik actions. Spiritual actions will give others inspiration to become spiritual. So this is the first thing that Baba has mentioned, that how we can inspire others to become spiritual or others to surrender to Baba. So that is Baba says through your spiritual actions. All of you have kept the aim of claiming the highest on high, royal status by being the children of the highest on high Father. Or will you be content with whatever you receive? Since you are the children of the highest on high Father, you have kept a high aim. Only when you remain in the imperishable stage of soul consciousness will you attain such imperishable happiness. So here Baba is telling us the method and the attainment. So method is, Baba says, you stabilize yourself in the imperishable stage of soul consciousness. The soul is imperishable. So when you are soul conscious, you are in that imperishable stage. So Baba says, then you will attain imperishable happiness. Souls are imperishable, are they not? You came to Madhuban and claimed the blessings of Madhuban. You receive blessings easily without effort. You are easily able to attain avyakt bliss, avyakt love, and avyakt power by remaining in the avyakt stage. So when you remain in the avyakt stage, you are able to receive avyakt bliss, love, and power easily. You have to try to keep this blessing with you eternally by constantly staying in remembrance of the bestower of blessings. You will keep these blessings with you eternally. So when you have the awareness that the bestower of blessings is with me constantly, then of course his blessings are with you, Baba says. If the bestower of blessings is with you, the blessings are also with you. Who is the most loved out of the whole world? Someone answered then, Shiv Baba. If he is that, then you should automatically be able to remember him. Since he is the most loved of all, why do you forget to remember him? So what is the reason? Baba says, if he is the most loved of all, then why do you forget him? You must surely be remembering something else. Nothing happens without a reason. So this is one important point that Baba is mentioning here, that nothing happens without a reason. You say you forget Baba, you get busy in your work, but then there is a reason, and Baba says, what is the reason? There is also a reason for forgetting. Because of your forgetting, the one you love the most becomes distant. The reason for forgetting is your own weakness. Because you do not follow Srimad fully, there is weakness. Then because of the weakness, there is forgetfulness. So when you don't follow Srimad completely, then Baba says weakness emerges and then you forget. And then the one you love becomes distant from you. It is only in forgetfulness that you forget the thing you love the most. Therefore, so what is the solution to this? Baba says, before performing any action, always have the awareness of Srimad. And when you then perform an action, that action will be elevated. If you follow the elevated direction before any action, then Baba says that action will definitely be elevated. Through performing elevated actions, you automatically make your life elevated. So elevated actions, elevated life. This is why you must check yourself before carrying out any task. If you check yourself after you have performed the action, the wrong action that you have already performed has already become a sin. Right? You've already created a karma and then you just check. You can pay attention in future, but then the action has already been performed. So Baba says, check yourself before carrying out any task. This is why you must first check before you perform that action. Do you know the way to give the godly study to others in an easy and simple way? Can you share knowledge, Baba is asking, with others in an easy and simple way? Can you give anyone the Father's introduction in a second? Can you give Baba's introduction in a second? Sometimes Baba says, no, just the 5 things you need to mention. What is his name? What is his form? Where does he reside? When does he come into this cycle? And what role he plays, right? So these 5 things you tell them, you give the introduction of the Father. The more you give others the Father's introduction, to that extent you will create your future reward. You have to give here and receive there. So give here and receive in future. So that means that you only have to receive whatever you continue to give. So you should consider yourself to be receiving that much. Right? You receive what you give. So Baba says you continue to give, then you'll receive the same. So that means that you only have to receive whatever you continue to give. So you should consider yourself to be receiving that much. You should experience the attainment of the instant fruit of this knowledge as well as the future reward. You can understand the future on the basis of the attainment of the present, right? How happy you feel within, how full you feel within. Baba says then you can determine that how much you will receive in the future accordingly. That is why Baba said you can understand the future on the basis of the attainment of the present. What you experience at the present time makes your future very clear. Whilst moving along, what form do you consider yourself to have? So now here Baba is telling us how you can inspire others, how you can benefit others. So Baba is asking us, whilst moving along, what form do you consider yourself to have? Do you have the feeling that you are a Shakti, a world mother? Those who are the form of a world mother have the feeling of benefit for the world. Right? So like a mother, Baba says, when you have this awareness that you are the world mother, then you will have the feelings of benefit for the entire world. By having the form of a Shiv Shakti, no weakness will remain. So awareness of these two forms Baba is telling us to have here. One is of Shiv Shakti. So when you have this awareness, there will be no weakness, no waste. Power will emerge. And then Baba says, when you have the awareness of being a world mother, then you will have Shubhavna, right? Good wishes, feelings of benefit for everyone. So I am a world mother and a Shiv Shakti. When you keep both these forms in your awareness, you will become a conqueror of Maya. So here Baba is telling us this method, how to become a conqueror of Maya. Have this powerful awareness. And through having the feeling of world benefit, you will become an instrument to bring benefit to many souls. Have you conquered attachment to your relations and your body? To what extent have you attained the last stage of being a conqueror of attachment? So it is said, no, Nashto Moha Smritir Labdha, which means you can become the conqueror of attachment when you have this smriti, this awareness. So Baba is asking us, have you become the conqueror of attachment? So Baba again tells us the method, how we can do that. The more you become a conqueror of attachment, the more you will become an embodiment of remembrance. So the way to have constant remembrance is to become a conqueror of attachment. Is it easy or difficult to become a conqueror of attachment? It's easy or it's difficult to conquer attachment? Attachment to the body, attachment to the bodily relationships, the things we use, we possess. So Baba says the more you become a conqueror of attachment, the more you will become an embodiment of remembrance. When you surrender yourself, everything becomes easy. So here is the method to become, how to become a conqueror of attachment. Baba says, surrender yourself, then everything becomes easy. When you surrender yourself, everything becomes easy. If you do not surrender everything, but keep it to yourself, you find it difficult. Some things you surrender, little you surrender, and little you keep it with you, Baba says, then you find it difficult. The main method to make it easy is to surrender. So this last stage of being the conqueror of attachment, Baba says the main method to make it easy is to surrender. The Father should be able to do whatever He wants through you. Just as an entire factory is run by machines, and it is the task of the machines to make the factory function, in the same way, we are instruments. So we are Baba's machines. So Baba should be able to run us, right? Work through us. So Baba is saying when you surrender, then the Father is able to do whatever He wants through you. So Baba says, have this awareness that we are instruments. The one who wants to use us can use us in whatever way he wants, H capital. So in whatever way Baba wants, Baba can use us, but just we need to offer ourselves to Baba, right? And also make ourselves capable. So Baba is telling the one who wants to use us can use us in whatever way he wants. We just have to continue according to that. By thinking in this way, you will not feel any difficulty. You have to make the stage stronger day by day. You must pay attention to this main thing, the stage of surrender. The more you children surrender yourselves to the Father, to that extent the Father also surrender himself to you children. Right? So Baba mentions this in the Sakar Murlis as well. When you surrender to Baba, Baba also surrenders himself to you. That is to say, the treasures of the Father automatically belong to such children. Baba will surrender himself to you means all his treasures, all his powers will become yours, right? So Baba says, which means that whatever the treasures belong to the Father automatically belong to such children. Why should it be difficult to give others the virtues you have? To surrender and to inspire others to surrender is the business of Brahmins. So what is our business? Baba says, surrender yourself to Baba and inspire others to surrender. Who else apart from Brahmins would know about the business of Brahmins? Just as the Father is not pleased with just a little, in the same way, children should not be pleased with just a little, right? Whatever status I attain, it is okay. It is okay if even if I become a subject, I will be in the golden age. Baba says, no, you should not be happy or contented in this way. What is the sign of faith? What is the sign of faith? Victory. Right? The underlying quality you need to surrender is faith, right? When you have faith, then only you can surrender. And then Baba says, what is the sign of faith? There's victory. The more faith you have in the intellect, the more victorious you will be in all respects. Nishchay buddhi vijayanti. Someone who has faith in the intellect is never defeated. If there is defeat, then what does that mean? If you experience defeat sometimes, then Baba says, you should understand that there is a lack of faith. You must always consider yourself to be one of the jewels amongst the victorious jewels who have faith in the intellect. So again, this is another awareness that Baba is asking us to have, that I am a victorious jewel. So victory is guaranteed. Baba says obstacles will come. The method to finish them is constantly to think that they are papers. Obstacles will come, situations will be there, but Baba says just consider them to be the test papers. Each paper enables you to discern your stage. If an obstacle comes, consider it to be a paper and pass it. Right? Everyone must have experienced this when we give our test papers in schools, colleges. Whatever comes, we try to attempt it, no? And not think that why they've asked this, no? They cannot ask this. No questions, right? So Baba says just consider these obstacles as a test paper and pass them. Don't see the situation, but consider it to be a paper. There are different questions in a paper. Sometimes questions about the mind, sometimes concern about public opinion, sometimes of relationships, and sometimes a question of fellow countrymen will come. However, don't be afraid of them, but go into their depth. So, whatever test papers come, Baba says just consider them to be the test paper and try to pass it. Uh, Don't engage yourself or, don't question, but just make an attempt to pass it. So Baba says, don't be afraid of obstacles. So I think we can stop here today. Love, remembrances, and namaste from Bap Dada. We spiritual children also say namaste and good morning to Bap Dada. Om Shanti. Let's have a minute of silence and then we can churn on this Murli. Om Shanti. Yeah, so what did you all take from today's Murli? You can share.
Om Shanti. Takeaway for me from today's Murli is everything that shows up in life, whether it's going to be any obstacles that shows up, any situations that comes in. And at present, there are a few things which are on my mind, where I'm trapped. So this Murli has given me an answer to consider whatever is showing up in the moment as a test paper and be present to the fact that you are a Shiv Shakti and surrender yourself to Baba. And that's the way to pass the test paper. Om Shanti.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Rakiban.
Om Shanti, sister. So today I like this example Baba gives us. So like the machines which works in a workshop to make the works to be done. So only when we are surrender, when we give ourselves to Baba, Baba can make use of us in his own way. So I too want to be like that, sister.
Yeah, very nice point. I too liked this, We need to offer ourselves to Baba, no? That Baba use me. I am available. I am ready. You just use me. And then Baba will use you, right? So we need to churn on this or think on this. When can Baba use me? Just as you mentioned that one quality you need is to surrender yourself. And I think one more thing is that you need to make yourself capable of that, right? Like we use a knife in our kitchen to cut any fruit or something. We will take the one which is good, no? You know there are 2, 3 knives, but you'll take the one which is good one. You know the one which will cut well. So Baba has so many instruments. So Baba will use me when I'm capable of that, right? So make efforts and increase your capacity. Make yourself capable that Baba can use. Hmm?
Yes, sister, surely.
Yeah.
Om Shanti, sister, and everyone else. My takeaway point from today lesson will be, as I am learning to involve Baba, remember Baba during my each activity throughout the day. But from now on, I will try my best to remember in my awareness that I am Shiv Shakti. So if I churn on that, I'm Shiv Shakti. So then what will happen? All my weaknesses, all my attachment, they will disappear instantly. By remembering this, by keeping this awareness that I'm Shiv Shakti, then I will find myself that I am victorious soul. I am powerful soul. Baba is with me. I'm never alone. So this will be my homework from today. Remembering him 24/7 by remembering as I am his power. Thank you. Om Shanti, sister.
Om Shanti. Thank you for sharing that. Hmm? Very powerful self-respect point, no? That I am a Shiv Shakti. Hmm?
Only we have faith in the intellect, then only we can able to surrender completely. So Baba tells. So
Hmm.
faith, actually, what's the, that is we have nikshayam buddhi, but how can we check how much faith like that? Sister?
How can you check how much faith you have, you mean?
Yes.
This is your question?
Yes, sister.
Hmm. How much faith you have. Very small, small things you can check yourself, no, throughout the day's activities. When you do anything, do you question whatever happens or whatever comes in front of you? Or you have faith? Faith is a big subject actually. And Baba talks about faith in 4 different things, no? Faith in yourself, faith in God, that is Baba, faith in drama, faith in the family. And all these 4 types of faith are actually interconnected with each other. So if you question anyone's role they are playing in front of you, then again that's lack of faith. Why this is doing this? They should not do like this. This kind of. And then why it is happening with me? Then again lack of faith in drama or lack of faith in the self or lack of faith in Baba. And then also when anything comes in front of you, whom do you remember first? That also shows your faith, no? If you remember any bodily being, if this would have been here, no, this one would have been here, it would be very good. It would be very easy to do this task. Sometimes it happens, no? We remember.
Mhm.
Yeah. So then you need to check whom do you remember first. So that much love you have for Baba, no? Where there is love, there is faith. Where there is faith, there you surrender. Yeah, Sakshivan has also mentioned that by checking
Yes.
how much victorious are we can check how much faith we have. As Baba also mentioned, no, when you are defeated, when you experience defeat in anything you do, that means somewhere there is lack of faith. So we can just check and find it out and then make effort accordingly or improve ourselves. Yeah, you're okay?
Thank you, sister. Okay.
Om Shanti, sister.
Anyone wants to add can add to
Om
this.
Shanti, sister.
Yeah.
The picture which you kept gave a thing of today's Murli, you'll see both are merged. Even Hanuman is merged in the Lord, and Ram is merged in him, totally embraces him, showing that I'm all there. As if
Yeah.
he held him, both you surrender and I surrender. I think that was a beautiful picture for for us to understand the concept of what is, if you surrender, what do you get in return? What is your attainment? What is the fruit? I think that picture really spoke 1,000 words. For me, the takeaway, as I've also shared before, this I am Shiv Shakti. I listened to one of the things, I don't know if any one of you have listened. There's a very big 9 points on Shiv Shakti. Stand up, Shiv Shakti. Take your inheritance. Stand up, Shiv Shakti. Know your story. Stand up, Shiv Shakti. Know your world parent. Stand up, Shiv Shakti. Take to surrender. And I used to wonder from where were those points taken. In this Murli, the point of surrender was taken in that stand-up Shiv Shakti. So every day, whenever I have to do, I just enact it, I read it. I read that. And I like that end part, stand-up Shiv Shakti, you are a lion. So that also says I can face obstacles. So for me, I am a Shiv Shakti. I am a victorious jewel. I am a lion. And I can face all test papers and all tigers in front of me because I'm combined with the Lord. I am merged in Him. Om Shanti.
Yeah. Thank you, sister. I could feel that power when you were sharing. Nice. And yes, when I was reading this Murli, I was constantly being reminded of this image, of Hanumana surrendering to Lord Rama. And as you rightly mentioned, the Baba also said that when you surrender to Baba, Baba also surrenders himself to you. He's all yours to support you, to help you, right?
While you were sharing the Shamila Ben, there were two Lokik stories which came in my mind. One was the way Draupadi called Krishna during her challenge and how Krishna showed up shows a sign of surrender. And the way Meera stood by herself for her love with Krishna, with the world which was completely against with her, and how her bhakti showed up for her own self, and she was always one with Krishna. These two stories become symbolic to look at how surrender supports when you are with the Almighty and Almighty is with you.
Yeah.
I think if we go to the copper age, surrender was a part of so many of these devotees, whether it was Tukaram, whether it was Gyaneshwar.
There are many examples actually.
If you just see, and so much, they believed as if God will come out of that image and take care. What a total, that's why, in Tamil, they were called as Murgadas. Das, the name Das was added, that is, they are madly in love and madly merged with the Lord. So it's, if you just read all that, the way the devotees had such a kind of astute faith, so much faith do we have in Baba, who has come down now to tell us, hello, I will take you. I think maybe it's our memorial, that's just a thing. But when I read these stories, it gives me that faith.
Yeah. When I was thinking about Hanuman, I also remembered that he always used to forget, no, who he is. And then others would remind him that you can fly, you are so powerful, you're this. When he had to cross the ocean, he didn't offer himself because he didn't have that awareness that he can just take a jump and cross the ocean. But then, Jamwant and all these, they used to remind him, no, that who you are. So like this, Baba comes and reminds us who you are. Yeah, in the chat, someone is asking that it is okay to ask questions. Yeah, I didn't mean that ways. Yes, of course, you can ask questions logically to understand things, to go into the depth of anything. You have to ask questions, but not questions out of doubt, you know. If someone is behaving in a particular way, we say, you know, ऐसा क्यों कर रहा है ये? Why he is doing the way he is doing? He shouldn't do this, or something like this. This is just an example. So out of doubt, if you create questions, then that is lack of faith, no? Otherwise, to understand anything, it is good to ask questions and understand and clarify things for yourself. Yeah. Anything else?
Om Shanti sister.
Ji.
Today my takeaway point is the first point Baba said to follow Srimad means to put spirituality into every action. That means Baba wants to see us entirely different from Laukik to Alaukik. That is, our manners, way of dressing, eating, following the dinacharya should be accurate. Whatever Baba says, we must tell, yes, Baba, I will do. That is, we must pay the handi first. Our pattern of living must be revealed the Father. So my takeaway point is, hereafter I must watch my activity, whether it is ordinary or spiritual. This point I taken, sister.
Yeah. Thank you.
There's another point in today's Murli which is very practical, which has touched me, is check before to take an action. Don't repent it later because the action has already been done.
Yeah.
So be in the awareness that you are following Srimad. Ask yourself, is this required? Am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Before doing it. Also, there is another flip side. If you think too much, then I may not be able to take an action. So just be in the moment and check, be agile, and then perform an action. It's another practically practiced is one of this point for today's Murli for me to take home. Om Shanti.
Yeah, very important actually in practical in life. And Baba said, no, your spiritual actions will inspire others to surrender to Baba. Yeah, when Girija Ben was sharing the stand-up Shiv Shakti, I was reminded of Dadi Janki ji actually. As far as I remember, Sakar Baba had written this in a letter to Janki Dadi because she was in bondage and she was not able to come to Baba. And then Baba had sent one sister to her, and Baba gave this message to give it to Dadi. Stand up Shiv Shakti. It was then that Janki Dadi, she just broke off all her bondages and came to Baba. She understood the underlying message in that Baba's message that Baba is calling her.
Yes, Seema Ben.
Yeah.
Om
Seema Ben
Shanti.
has raised her hand. Yeah. Go ahead, Seema.
Yes, just to make it simple, there is one message that keeps circulating time to time on WhatsApp here and there with the different personalities. Like Abdul Kalam Azad, and somebody else also. And there are 5 lines in that. I'm the best. I'm a winner. I can do it. God is always with me. And today is my day. It's just a simple 5 lines, that I can relate with this Murli. I mean, yes, surrender, of course, but at the same time, I'm the best. Remember that I'm victorious. Just Baba says, "Main Mahan Atma hu." So I'm the best. I'm a winner, meaning I'm victorious. I can do it, meaning I'm capable. God is always with me. If I surrender to God, God also surrenders to me. And then it becomes my day. If we remember all these 4 lines every day, then every day is my day. And Baba's day, of course. Thank you, Om Shanti. Yeah.
I had just tried to summarize the Murli. Baba explained us the meaning of surrender. How do you know that you are surrendered? You will follow Srimad completely and spiritualize every action. And then Baba says, when you perform elevated actions, your life becomes elevated, right? Conqueror of Maya. And when you have a right to Baba's inheritance, you have right to his powers, then there is no dependency. And then Baba also told us about when you have lack of faith, why do you forget Baba? Because some kind of weakness emerges, and weakness emerges because you do not follow Srimad completely, right? And why do we not follow Srimad completely? Because somewhere there is lack of this quality of faith, lack of surrender. And then some qualities I have mentioned here that Baba talked about. How can we inspire others to surrender? Of course, we can add more to this, but then Baba said that your spiritual actions will inspire others. When you become an embodiment of awareness of being a Shiv Shakti, of being a world mother, awareness of being God's instruments, then you can bring benefit to this world. And Baba also said, when you give here, you receive there in the future. So you can also understand from this how much you experience, how much instant fruit you experience here, accordingly you will receive in the future, right? Okay. Anyone else, or shall we go ahead with meditation?
Om Shanti, sister. Would it be possible for you if you could elaborate a little bit more on surrender, please? Because I learned last week from Mohani Didi from USA, surrender mean she taught us surrender mean offering, giving your inner resources, your internal gift. So that's her definition. And would you please clarify for me what to surrender, how to surrender?
See, there is nothing physical actually. It's more about internal, your intellect. Actually, you answered what Moini Bibi said is what Baba says, no?
Yeah, according to Moni Didi, I agree with that. So her point of view was doing service.
Most important is you surrender your intellect, Then there is acceptance of what Baba says. Otherwise, you will question even in God's knowledge. How can Baba say this? Why is he saying this? How can this be right? So this kind of thought, these kinds of thoughts have come, then there is no surrender. No surrender of the intellect is like, I think that's the most important thing. And then you surrender your skills, your qualities to Baba in Baba's task. The more you use your specialities, everyone has some or the other speciality, everyone has some skills, no? So the more you use in Baba's task, that is the way you surrender yourself to Baba, no? You use your time, you use your thoughts for Baba's seva, that is surrender. You remember him, that is surrender, no?
For example, I'm reading and trying to understand and try to implement in my daily life, right? I am almost using a big chunk of my day for Murli. Is it also included in surrender column or no? Because I'm learning.
Yeah, you can say that because you're using your time in a worthwhile way. I mean, it's actually for yourself, right? For the benefit of yourself. So, not surrender exactly, but then the more you use your time, your thoughts, your skills, your qualities, in हिंदी जैसे बाबा कहते हैं ना, अपनी विशेषताओं को कार्य में लगाओ. That is surrender, samarpanta.
But as a beginner student, I'm just doing cleanup. All the habits that I have developed so far. So I'm just doing cleanup. I'm not ready to provide my services because I have nothing. And also I truly do not have anything because everything belongs to Baba, whatever I have learned so far.
Yeah, that is surrender, no then. When you're saying everything belongs to Baba, that is surrender.
Yeah, I understood that. Nothing belongs to me. Nothing.
Om Shanti. May I say something here,
Yes,
sister?
yes, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, surrender, Baba. What touched me is basically the feeling that I am an instrument, and I am not playing my music. Even the music which is being played through this instrument, the player, the music, everything is Baba. So once
Yeah.
so that is what Baba means is that 100% Srimat, and there is not even 1% of Manmat. So 100% Srimad is what is a complete surrender. And then only I'll be in complete remembrance and the remembrance of Baba, because I am considering every act, every thought, every word, every action. It is Baba is playing this instrument.
Yeah.
Even
When
thought
you,
I am not. So
yeah.
I think that is the moment, the feeling of that, considering the soul to be the instrument of Baba, is complete surrender. And then we have to keep checking it. Am I using my manmat anytime, or my own this thing, bondages are affecting me or not affecting me? Those things we have to keep checking, and then the stage comes. Om Shanti.
Thank you,
Sorry,
Ji.
sister. I
Yeah,
know there's no time.
Baba has defined, no, when you follow Srimad completely means you have surrendered. Yes.
Sorry, sister. I know there's no time. Just one sentence I want to say. See, but I imagine two pictures. One is when I'm in a war, suddenly somebody says, hands up. What do? We just put up a hand, we kneel down, we are totally at the mercy of others. That happens at that moment when I can do nothing. Mere paas kuch nahi, wo mera sab kuch kabja kar liya. So that kind of a surrender is give up. But here, there's another surrender. Jab unki mahima, that person's praise, he's going to take care. My boat will not go. So he's saying, hello, I'm coming down. Hold my hand, do everything. At that moment, it's not that physical surrender, as Sharmila Didi said. It is just हमारे अंदर के एक नस जो है, nerves जो है, that feeling जो है, अरे ये आ गया है, take, I am yours. That feeling is what? Once you did that feeling, आपका अंदर जो आपका तन है, मन है, वो automatically चला जाएगा. वो तो thoda hai in front of what he's giving. So just get the feeling, Baba, main sirf tera ho. Please, aap sambhalo, aap jane, ye jane. Now, that feeling is what I think should come with this Om Shanti.
Yeah. Samarpan bhav hota hai na? So it's the feeling, right? Okay.
And what we are
Let's-
feeling, we are becoming. So feeling is the foundation of Swarup. I think that's what feeling. When feeling, when you what I'm feeling, my thought, intellect, everything is in one direction towards that feeling. So I think that feeling that Baba is always with me. Baba, please use my mind, intellect, and sanskars. That companionship, that company of Baba, if I'm feeling, I think that is also surrender, definitely. Om Shanti. That's what I feel.
Yes. Thank you everyone for this wonderful churning. You all can churn throughout the day as well and check yourself, how much have you surrendered to Baba? If there's any lack, just make efforts and complete it, right? Let's just sit in silence and remember Baba for a minute. Then we can close. Om Shanti. Thank you, everyone.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Shamila. It was a very wonderful and a deep Murli. Thank you all of you for the churning. See you tomorrow at 5 a.m. Till that time, have a wonderful day.
Om Shanti. Before we close on the day, we would want to announce for tomorrow's session, which is we are doing the Murli Manthan for the Murli dated 22nd of January 1970. To take the most benefit out of this, recommend please read the Murli and come. Dr. Manoj Pai shall be doing this Murli Manthan for this Murli. Om Shanti.